I'm Luna Cortez. I moved to Spain on the non-lucrative visa.
Hi guys, I'm Terry. I am from Texas. I've lived in Austin the past 5 years, and I moved to Barcelona, Spain.
What just happened? You got your non-lucrative
Yes.
visa
Oh, yeah.
approved.
Should I show it? Should I show
Yeah,
it?
awesome.
To when I got on the plane, it was about 6 to 7 months.
Shauna has guided us through obtaining our NLV. We received that in November. That's a fast 5 months.
Without the academy, I never would have been able to have the confidence that what I was doing was possible and that I didn't have to figure everything out on my own.
Without the academy, I never would have been able to move in less than 7 months, 6 to 7 months. There was no way I would be able to get all of my documents in order, be able to select the visa that I wanted to be on, have someone help me walk my hand, like, okay, Shauna's just gonna hold my hand and we're gonna walk through this together, Perry. I told you this 3 times, but just, I know you're nervous, so here, I'm gonna tell you one more time and you're gonna get it.
Well, certainly in terms of time, I would not be where I am now. That's a given. So to say that from beginning to end, from when I joined the academy, from March to June, I can only think if I was left on my own. I might have at some point just thrown in the towel and say this is not going to happen. But literally, I would say if not 6 months or longer. And for me, I'm 73. When was I going to do this? And in terms of money, I can just give an example. At least $10,000, and I say that just off the cuff from the standpoint of if I hadn't gone the route I did with the non-lucrative, and I did something different on my own, it would have cost me countless thousands of dollars more.
When she says she has connections everywhere, like she literally has connections everywhere. I think you are like the master of networking too. But no, honestly, she saved so much time in our process, and it's so nice to be able to connect with her. She's always willing to help. She's always willing to answer questions. It's just been wonderful. And
I saved myself, I mean, I would say probably like $10,000 from hiring like a lawyer to do all this stuff for me. And the time that I saved by not having to do all of this research on my own is like, I don't know, months, I would say.
Since joining the academy, I've saved, I would say around about 5,000 to, we could go upwards of 15,000 because of, just visas and lawyers. And is this document right? Is this document right? Oh, but what if I want to switch visas? Maybe I have to apply for this one. And if you're all doing it on your own, that's just chaotic in general. And time, I mean, hours. Before I joined the academy, and I just was doing it for a couple weeks by myself, it was overwhelming. I don't think you could put a price on anxiety, on the anxiety that I had and the stress that I had when I didn't have someone when I had to list out everything that I needed. Hours. You're probably looking at upwards of 40, 50 hours alone, like a month, that you're just like, okay, well, this website says that I need to do this, and this website says I need to do this. This consulate website is different from this consulate website. So which one do I actually follow? It's insane. So for you to do all that for this lazy girl, loved it. You made my mental health so much better. The stress was all mine.
Well, for me, I'm the type of person, like I love deadlines. I'm very structured. And so I set those timelines for myself that I'm going to complete these modules, in a week. And so every day it was very much like, at the end of the work day, in between, I was cooking dinner, whatever, I would log in and like, okay, let me go through this module and get through it as much as I can. So definitely time wise, it saved me a lot, because up until then I had been going through all of these different websites and trying to create my own checklist. So knowing that at the end of it, that here's the checklist, these are the things that you need to do. It definitely saved me months of going down rabbit holes where I would have just been beyond frustrated. And in terms of, like a dollar range, I mean, I think about having to reach out to attorneys, and we all know how expensive attorneys are. They're charging, at least $100 an hour, if not more, in the States. So I'd probably say I saved a good $5,000 joining the academy. When you think about the price versus, bringing in all of those, very expensive experts, to me, it was well worth the money, the time that I absolutely spent on it. And it's something that I still refer people, even when I'm on Instagram, Shauna, there was someone made a comment about it. And so I'm always like, here, I'm going to tag Shauna in it. Like, look at this, this is how I was able to move to Spain.
Because I was just an anxious Annie. It made it to where it was accessible. It was easy. People think, oh my God, well, what did you do with your stuff? I'm like, I sold it. Well, how did you know what to do? I'm like, well, I had someone help me. Like this, I had a coach help me and give me a list of everything that I needed, X, A, B, C, D, E. So I knew it and it was achievable. And it made it so much more simple. It made it simpler. It was easy and manageable. I never would have been able to done it on my own. And I don't even know if I've told you this, but I talked to a couple other, I reached out and sent emails. I saw some stuff pop up on Instagram and they were like, oh yeah, but you're not gonna be able to move in a year. You're not gonna be able to do that. I was told that so I just knew that they weren't my people. And you were like, I was like, I want to move by January. And you're like, oh sweet, we can do that. I was like, sweet, okay. You're just as crazy as me.
The reason I chose to invest in the Move Overseas Now Academy is I'd been trying to do this on my own, trying to just look at all the search engines and what do I need to do? And I found a couple of people, on Instagram, that did this. And the reason I chose, Shauna's program was I just, really liked her energy. So I on a whim, I thought, well, let me just join this call. And I remember I did that, back in April of 24. And I just felt like this was the right thing for me. I felt a connection to her and to the program. And it just seemed very, structured. And I enjoy that aspect of it.
So if you are on the fence of joining the Move Overseas Now Academy, just take the leap. Like, the academy is so thorough and it's very thoughtfully organized. There is a huge amount of information, resources, and guidance, and it's just like laid out in a way that makes a very overwhelming process feel much more organized and doable. And on top of that, the community and the coaching that you offer, like your availability and support, it makes it feel like you're not navigating this alone.
Without the academy, I never would have been able to have a community of individuals that were going through the same thing, a source that I could reach out to when things got tough, when I was having doubts, when things were moving slower than I thought, they should be. So definitely that sense of community is a key takeaway for me. Another aspect of it was, having, people, especially Shauna, that I could reach out to when things were really stressful. When I got to the point, there was a certain point in the process where I really wanted to give up and, throw in the towel, and having her to be able to reach out to and, say like, these things happen. These are not anomalies. And so let's continue to go through it. You've already done, a lot of the hard work. So let's just continue to push through it. Without that, I do believe that I would have just been like, no, the universe is telling me that this is not meant for me at this moment. And here I am. But I think for me, it really just highlighted that this is something that is doable, right? It's not this, ridiculous dream, even though some people may say it is, but it's not something that, isn't doable. And so I think for me, it really helped to like address a lot of those little doubts that I had for myself, and also, doubts that people around me had.
Any investment is worth it. She has such a plethora of knowledge on this stuff that it just helps ease your mind so much during this overwhelming and confusing situation.
The main piece of advice that I would give that was really beneficial for me is knowing that it's a program that's really streamlined, it's structured, there's a sense of community. And even now, there's times, where I can still refer back to it and look at, okay, what do I need to be doing? So when you get on the ground, you're so overwhelmed, right? And having, a place that all of the information is in there. You can reach out and, ask people, well, what was your experience? What did you do? Um, and at the end of the day, it really helps you, to make that decision. Is this the right thing for me, instead of constantly questioning yourself?